Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabled Nexus. We're here chilling out, having a good time. I don't know what that meant. I don't know. That might be fucked. I don't know. It says about encoder. I don't know. Let's continue with it. Professional as always. But today we're here to talk a little bit. I don't know. I wanted to talk about, like, everyone always talks about it once in a while, like, oh, games were better back then, right? Like, back then, the games were better. All this stuff. I hear it a lot. I hear, like, the games suck now. The games are this, it doesn't have the same feel as it was. And I think that's the main key thing, right? When a lot of people talk about, like, games and, like, oh, they used to be good. Well, I think a lot of games back in the day, they're good. I played a lot. I played, I think it wasn't around for like PS1 when it first came out, but I played PS2, 360, I didn't play PS3 and stuff. But, I kind of went through Xbox after that. And I've slowly gotten older consoles and playing older games as, time goes on. But, everyone always says, oh, the games are better back then. Well, they were and they weren't, I guess. Like, I feel like a lot of people, when they talk about games like back then and, like, older games, all this stuff, like, they they do it off of a feeling, right? It's like a feeling, it's not like graphically. Yeah, we have games that's graphically better, like, stuff like that. Like storylines, I feel like there's a lot of good storylines from back in the day that don't have now, or like, you have the same trope or the same, whatever made already, because like everyone uses the same basic thing, and it's hard to make a new title that doesn't kind of rip off something that's already done, or like not really care about, but copy something or be vaguely similar to something that's already been done, just in a different context. And I think that's hard to do sometimes when it comes to gaming. They when they want to innovate and do all this stuff, is like, yeah, like a lot of times stuff from back then, is already there. Like it's already been innovated and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, cool, right? But was gaming definitively better back then than they are now? I don't fully know. In my opinion, I think there's a lot more availability of games now than there used to be. I think gaming used to be more a niche thing. It was like, it was always weird, like back when especially like the earlier 2000s, and especially into like there's this whole, like, culture and the stigma around, like, hey, he plays games, he's probably like, one of those people, one of those nerds that's just like, sitting in this room with like 50 monsters sitting next to him. And now, you get all these people that go and play games that, like, they don't look like that. They can be jacked, they look good, they look nice. And you have others, and you have like the whole, like, outlook on how gaming was changed. It shifted at one point, and when gaming became more mainstream. And I think, for me personally, because this is a personal thing, by the way, it's not like I'm not gonna bring up like statistics. I don't know statistics. I didn't look them up. I'm just going off how I, feel about it, because that's what this channel about. So I just talk about random stuff when I feel like it, and we interject our great, opinion into the world, as they say. Um, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, like, for me, I liked it better when gaming was like a niche thing, because I don't know, it felt more real, I guess. As I guess that's the word I want to use. I'm not really sure. Like, the no script is kind of bullshit, but I don't know. It felt different. There's a different vibe to it, and like, of course, I was younger. I'm like older now than I used to be. I don't have like free time like I used to, and when I play games now, it just sometimes doesn't hit the same, because my friends have, moved on, done other things, or I still have friends with them, but they don't play games like that, and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, like, the feeling isn't there like it used to be. And I think the way that, like, companies and everyone had to approach, you know games are different now than they used to be, because I feel like now, since it's not as niche, they just know people are gonna buy them just to buy it sometimes, stuff like that. Like, for the most part, like, not always, but a lot of times, like, like when a new Call of Duty comes out, and everyone's talking about how bad it is, and they continue to talk about how bad it is, but people still buy it, people still get on to play, DLCs, you see people covering it still, like, it doesn't change the fact that they're still gonna do it. Like, people still buy the same, but back then, I felt like they had to put more effort in. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just as good as, like, you couldn't just make the game. You had to actually make it appealing to people. You had to actually try to, like, get people involved, and you had all this stuff, because I feel like that is the case. Like, that's what, like, they needed to do. That's what they needed to do in order to get, you know, all this stuff, like, figured out. And that's what they had to do. But now it's just like, no, you don't have to do that. And I think that's why, like, AAA titles maybe not, but I feel like that might be the reason why they become lazier because they know they can kind of just sit on their laurels for a little bit, and that's why. I was gonna mute that. Sorry about that. Sorry. Windows decided to hit us with some great audio, but yeah. So like, but it's like they don't have to try as hard. That's why I think indie games have been kind of going up on that because they can make what they want. They're not tied down by this thing. And like, they don't have a established brand. They have to build it. They have to make something that people will enjoy, and they can have more freedom of making what people will enjoy, rather than just something that's just there to be there at that point. And I think that's one of the main things. Is like that's what makes a lot of things different from now. Um, and all this stuff. It's just like, sorry, I have to text somebody. But yeah, so it's just like, it is what it is. It's one of those things where like, yeah, like definitively, I think if you want to talk about like graphics and stuff like that, I feel like graphics, of course, are way better now than they used to be. But in terms of like feeling how it felt to play games, how like I felt when I was playing games, I feel like the more you go back, the better it felt. Even though like the games might not be as good, and like of course you had like all these things, and like of course the rise of like YouTube and everything helped the gaming a lot and all this stuff. But I feel like now it's just like I don't play games as much as I used to. I still do, and I stream sometimes every once in a while, but it doesn't feel the same. I don't get this. I can't sit down for hours and just play games like I used to. It's not something I do. I mean, I probably still can, but like as some people say, I lived for the grind. That was the point. Like I would sit down for like tens of hours of like a day and just play a game. I would just be there. I would put hours and hours into a game, but they didn't really get me anywhere. I mean, I wasn't streaming and stuff back in the day when I probably should have, but it's fine. I try to do it now and everything, but like it's like, yeah, like back then I could just sit down and grind a game for hours. Now I can barely play an hour before I would just feel off. It doesn't feel good, like feel like I want to do it anymore. And when you try to stream, that's not the best idea. But like, but sometimes I just want to stream. I want to stream though. Like that's the other thing. Like when I stream, I'm like, hey yo, I want to play Borderlands 2. Fuck it, dude. Let's drop some Borderlands 2 on them. You know what I'm saying? Like I do that. I just drop the Borderlands 2 on them, and then or if I want to play Destiny 2, I'll do that. Even though the game may be dying or it doesn't have an audience right now, fuck it. That's what I want to do. And that's what I've been trying to do a lot more of now is just playing what I want to play rather than, stuff like that. But it's different. There's a different vibe to it that, like, I cannot condone over a video, and you just have to be there during that time. It's one of those things. You have to be there during that time. You had to be there during that time when all that shit was going on. You had to be at the event. You had to be at E3 back when E3 actually mattered. You had to be there when you had when COD Next was actually doing the thing. When Activision was like, "Hey, yo, we're gonna invite all these YouTubers, all these people out, and they're gonna be doing the thing," and it was great because there was life in gaming that I don't think we have now, and I don't know if they ever capture again. I don't think it ever will be that way again. And same thing with like conventions and all this stuff. I think they're never gonna capture that magic, I guess, in a sense that they used to have. I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, it's not something that I feel like they can do. Like I said, I'm not really like an expert on like metrics and all that stuff, but you know, I just go off purely in the fact of like how I think about it and what I think of it. Which actually you can and you can leave your comments below if you want to talk about it. Just be nice. Be respectful. That's all I ask. You don't, if you want to say I'm wrong, I might be wrong. Maybe gaming's better now than ever has been. And but maybe I'm just stuck old ways. I guess. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys did, like I said, just quick, 10 minute, almost 10 minute discussion, hanging out, talking about, you know, what are we gonna talk about? But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys want to, you can like and subscribe. English is hard. You can like and subscribe if you feel like it. It's always appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. Like I said, I do a live stream. It should be on the channel somewhere. If not, I'll put it there. And you can stop by if you want. I stream once in a while. And then yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Peace, my dudes. Enjoy y'all's day. I'll see you next time.